Hello, my wonderful friends. Welcome back to another Star Wars Black Series figure review. Now, today we're going to be reviewing a very special figure I picked up on Amazon a while ago, but I never got around to making a review for it. So, today we're going to be reviewing the Star Wars Black Series 6-inch Death Trooper figure. Now, of course, if you don't know about the Death Troopers, they were featured in Rogue One as character Krennic's so-called bodyguards. They are a much more darker variant of the Stormtroopers. And of course, they do not speak. Instead, they use hidden languages only the rest of them can understand. Like I said, this figure absolutely already looks amazing outside of the box, as you can see from that very sleek armor right there as it has. And of course, you all know how I do things. I always do the box first. So here, getting into the box, as you can see, there's a nice portrait or shadow portrait of the Death Trooper. As kind of makes sense because it is black. Right here you have the name Imperial Death Trooper, and of course it is age 4 and up, as with most of these Black Series figures. Of course, you got your warning label here. It says choking hazard. You don't want to choke on this Death Trooper's awesomeness. Of course, it's made by Hasbro, the same company who makes the rest of the figures. Now, this figure is number 25 in the Black Series toy line. Turning over the back of the box, you of course have the usual, the Star Wars in the shiny lettering, as well as the same figure number here. And of course, right here you have the bio for the Imperial Death Trooper. Of course, if you want to pause the video, you most surely can, to read that little biopsy at the bottom. Alright, now turning over the side of the box, you have the standard Imperial Death Trooper name in red raised lettering, as well as on the ghost letter you just say Death Trooper, although it is cut off, but of course it is too big to fit on that one side box. And of course inside you just have the standard Black Series red backdrop for the box. Now, putting that aside, of course you all know how I do these reviews, so I'm going to review the accessories first and then the figure. So the first accessory that comes with this Death Trooper would be his blaster rifle. And of course, there's not that many touches of paint apps on this whatsoever. Nice shiny black paint apps for the handle here, as well as the rest is just a solid color, minus when you turn it on the side. As you can see, there's that little touch of red right there near the handle. But besides that, it is just a solid color piece. Although I don't know if you can tell from mine. My blaster rifle looks a bit warped. As you can see, it's kind of bent a tiny bit. I don't know if any of your other blasters on your figures are like this, but I know mine's is bent. You can especially see it if I turn it of an aerial view of the rifle. As you can see, there's a slight bend here towards the back stock. Like I said, it's not really a problem. I can just use some heat and bend it back into shape a tiny bit. Putting that aside, the next accessory you get with this Death Trooper is, it's in fact his blaster pistol. Now of course this pistol does not have any touches on it like the blaster rifle did, as in the red touches. It's just a solid molded black colored, black painted piece. Like I said, the scope is a bit warped. There is no special paint apps on this blaster pistol whatsoever. It's just one solid color, which is a dull grayish blackish color, if you can call it that. Like I said, I wish I had a little bit more designs in the overall blaster pistols or in the rifles, so say, than just the solid black coloring. But in point of that, there's nothing much we can really do about that. Okay. Now, getting into the actual figure itself. As you can see, very beautiful figure indeed. Nice, beautiful, sleek, black, shiny coloring on his armor. Very reflective. That's what I love the most about this figure is how shiny they made the armor. You see here is shining really well with my lighting, especially as you can see as well. I don't know if you can tell, but from the face sculpt, there are touches of green here. I don't know if you can all see it, but as you can see, there's touches of green here, mainly on the visor and on these little vents right here on the bottom of the helmet. But besides that, mainly this entire figure is just black. Well, if you count these little clips here on the shoulders, which is also a silver type of color, as well as the silver here on his mouthpiece. And a little flashlight, but there's also black, silver, nice shiny paint on his helmet as well. But overall, this figure has a very beautiful sculpt and a very beautiful paint application. As you can see, it's very, very shiny, which I love because the Death Troopers in Rogue One were shiny. Nice sculpt on the buckle here of his belt, as you can call it such. The nice detailing descends into the legs here, and the nice designs for the inner armor as the inner suit for the armor, which kinda actually looks similar to Kylo Ren's sleeves. Huh. And then that nice sculpt continues into the boots, as you can see here. Nice detailing on the feet, detailing on the side sole. And of course, there is no sole under here. It just has the manufacturer's information. But of course, it's a Death Trooper, so it's clearly a Stormtrooper. So getting into the overall articulation of the figure, the head does, of course, rotate 360 degrees. It goes down that much, but then then it goes about that far. So nice range of movement in the head, very smooth and fluid. Of course, the arm can go out about that far because it's hindered by his shoulder pad right here, and it does have 360 degree movements at his arm. For his elbow is very loose. As you can see, the elbow is extremely loose on my figure. It's not a problem, but as you can see, it's loose. So as you can see, it can go down that far, which is his resting form. It can go up about that far, and it has a very, very loose 360 degree movement here for the elbow. Getting into the midsection, he does have an ab crunch. It's very little. Well, if you go up, as you can see, he can go up that far, and he can crunch that far. So he has a nice ab crunch going on there. Of course, he does rotate at the waist very, very smoothly. As you can see here, I think that's the only Black Series figure I know that can rotate that easily and that smooth. Like, I can barely feel myself rotating this figure. And of course, his legs can go out that far. That's only as far as he can go because it is hindered by the arm. So he can go, his legs can't go back, and they can go forward that much. He does have a double jointed knee. Almost forgot. He does have a wrist movement. His wrist can go that far and down that much, and he does have 360 degree motions at his wrist. Now, as before I mentioned, his knee is double jointed, so it can bend fairly far. That's about as far as his knee can bend. He bend it back. There's no movement whatsoever in the lower legs. He does have movement in his legs, 360-degree movement in his legs. It is a bit hard, but it is there. And then, of course, for his standard Black Series, he has an ankle rocker pivot for his foot. His foot can bend down about that far, which is not that far. And of course, he can bend it back up as such, and he does have a nice swivel at his ankle. So, of course, he pretty much has the standard Stormtrooper articulation, because I know most of the articulation for these Stormtroopers is hindered because of the armor and such. But of course, that pretty much covers the figure. Honestly, I rate this figure 10 out of 10, mainly because of how well this figure turned out. As you can tell, they tried their best to get it to look like a Death Trooper from Rogue One, and I gotta honestly say, they knocked it out of the park. So I said I'm going to rate this figure 10 out of 10 for overall paint apps and sculpt wise, as well as the decent parts of articulation, which were not that bad. They could have been far worse, but they weren't. So, yeah. I do say that I believe that is the end of this video. Now, of course, you all know how I do this. I do plan on posting more videos soon on more figure reviews. Like I said, I collected most of these figures already. It's just I never got around to fully reviewing them. But I do plan on reviewing these figures really soon. I have plenty more to show you all. So yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like below, and of course subscribe, so it can be a really big help. And yeah, have a nice day.